Lahore, 1186 AD. The last flicker of the once mighty Ghaznavid dynasty is guttered against the banners of the rising Ghurid dynasty. At their head rode Mu'izz al-Din Muhammad, whom history would remember as Muhammad Ghori. Within the city, Sultan Khusrau Malik clung to the fading embers of his empire. But the Ghurid army was swift as hawks, their assaults tireless. Lahore fell and the Ghaznavid royalty were executed. But the real motive of subduing Lahore laid beyond the Indus, a land rich, divided, and tempting. A decade ago, the Ghurid gaze had been towards Gujarat, where the Solanki dynasty ruled lavishly. Their king was Mularaja, but real power rested with his mother and regent Naiki Devi. The Ghurids were led by Muhammad Ghori, who chose the harsh road, through the Gomal Pass, across Sindh, and into the merciless Thar Desert. Supplies thinned, men wearied, villages burned to feed the advance. Word of the invasion reached the Solanki Court. The war council was summoned. Kayadara, near Mount Abu, in the narrow passes of Rajasthan, the Ghurid vanguard encountered a modest force under Daravarsha of the Paramaras. Rajput cavalry engaged the marching Ghurids briefly and then withdrew deep. The Ghurids pursued. The mountain pass constricted the famed mobility of the Ghurid horse. When the path widened, the trap was revealed. Beneath the fluttering standards stood the full host of the Solankis, war elephants armored in steel. Heavy Rajput cavalry, dense ranks of spearmen led by Queen Naiki Devi herself. Muhammad Ghori ordered his mounted archers forward. Arrows darkened the sky, hissing toward the elephants. But the terrain betrayed them. There was no room to encircle, no space to feign retreat. Then the Ghurids understood. This was no border skirmish. The Solankis held the center. On the flanks stood the Chahamanas of Shakambari under Kelhanadeva, and the Paramaras closed the rear. A confederacy of Rajput clans, united. The Ghurid army faltered. Then came the charge. Elephants thundered forward. Heavy cavalry crashed into wavering lines. Steel met steel in a deafening roar. The road behind the Ghurids was sealed. Paramara riders had cut off retreat. 25,000 invaders ensnared in a perfect snare of stone and steel. The slaughter was merciless. Only by desperate effort did Muhammad Ghori carve a path through the carnage, escaping with a handful of loyal retainers back to Ghazni. His army lay shattered in the passes of Kayadara. This utter destruction of Ghurid army ensured that the road into Hindustan would remain closed to him for a decade. But ambition does not die in defeat. Muhammad Ghori would return, not merely to plunder, but to politically conquer, and the conquest of Lahore was his first step.